Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater. Out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, 2-run shot to right.
And welcome to the second half of today's doubleheader here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We're here at the Camden Athletic Complex for an NJAC matchup between the Stockton Ospreys and the Rutgers-Camden Scarlet Raptors. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Colin Morris on the call today as the Raptors, in their bright scarlet red, look to split the season series with the Stockton Ospreys. They lost 14-3 last time they played just yesterday in Galloway. As it'll be a nice pitching matchup. Gloucester alum Ethan Carpenter and senior on the mound for Rutgers-Camden. Meanwhile, Stockton is going to be going with, again, their old favorite, on the hill for the Ospreys today, another right-hander in Sansone out of Galloway. Ryan Kulik meeting with Stockton head coach Rick Golick in his 6th season with the Ospreys, as they're going to get ready to go. If you remember, Stockton beat Rutgers-Camden 7-4 when we saw them this time last year, almost the exact same day. But at the very pitcher-friendly Rutgers-Camden, it might actually play in favor of the hitters today. Wind is blowing out on a beautiful Thursday afternoon at, 71 degrees at first pitch today. We'll go over starting lineups and much more as the 15-15 Ospreys face the 21-11 Rutgers-Camden Scarlet Raptors. We'll be back in just a moment. Rutgers-Camden takes the field, and we've got the Stockton Ospreys ready to go as Ethan Carpenter, the starting pitcher for the Rutgers-Camden Raptors. He started for them on opening day when we saw them versus Immaculata, but let's introduce the Stockton Ospreys. Their starting lineup will have Michael Antonucci in center field. Tucker Elder takes the left field spot. Jordan Nitty at first base. Joe Gamitter is the first baseman. Nick Avignano, who had the second, or currently has the second longest home run in DWB history with 437 feet this time last year, hit it right over the scoreboard in left center field. He bats fifth. Robbie Ford is the third baseman batting sixth. Cooper Fiore is the catcher in the seventh spot. Austin Beard DHs and bats eighth, and Evan Bresnan is the shortstop batting ninth. Carpenter, the starting pitcher today for the Scarlet Raptors, as he faces on against the 15-15 Stockton Ospreys. But I'll tell you this, Stockton's a harder bout than many would expect. They lost to Stockton 14-3 last time out. And by last time out, I mean, well, yesterday. With how the NJAC works, you play like the Cape Atlantic League, home and home, one game at their place and one place at yours. So we're here at the Rutgers-Camden Athletic Complex. It is a beautiful Monday, or beautiful Thursday afternoon, and we will be ready to go for NJAC action between the Stockton Ospreys and the Rutgers-Camden Scarlet Raptors. I'm joined by joined by Colin Morris as we get ready to watch Ethan Carpenter on the hill today. You know, 2020 graduate of Gloucester, wearing those high red stirrups today. Should be a good one, and it's certainly the appropriate weather for it. 71 degrees at first pitch today, wind blowing out to center field.
Scoreboard? What's that? Scoreboard?
So here we go. First batter, Antonucci will bat to lead off the ball game for the Ospreys. Carpenter, who battled through injuries, gets another chance as a grad student here with the Raptors, and the first pitch is a swing and a miss, 0-1. He's been the ace of the staff for a while now. He's appeared in 8 games, including 3 in NJAC play versus NJCU, Keene, and Rutgers Newark, or Kane, excuse me, and that one's high, 1-1. 5.02 ERA for the grad right-hander. That one's fouled back by Antonucci, and it hits the light pole. That's got to count for something. One ball, 2 strikes. That's what we like to call the trick shot here at Rutgers-Camden. Carpenter, breaking ball. Fly ball at the center field by the center fielder. He'll fly out from one center fielder to another. Schaefer is there. That's out number 1. That'll bring up Tucker Elder. Carpenter with a 5.02 ERA and 8 starts this year, 43 innings, 36 strikeouts, 12 walks, and a .335 batting average against. Those numbers are all up from last year, where in 11 starts he posted a 3.9 ERA, a 4.38 career mark for Carpenter in his 28th start with the Raptors, and was outside. Stockton, as we said, won the first half of this 2-game set, 14-3 after an early offensive outburst over in Galloway. High and away, 2-0. Elder, a Central Jersey product out of the Colonial Valley Conference, out of Ewing, 6-foot senior. A career .239 hitter, hitting .250 this year, and gets one to catch the zone, 2-1. 106 career hits with the Ospreys, 12 home runs, 71 RBIs, and a career .397 slugging percentage. Not far off from this yearly slugging percentage of .393. 2-1. Away. 3-1 now. Carpenter usually doesn't have trouble finding the zone early on. He usually attacks early, and it's usually the fatigue that gets him, but a bit of an early hiccup here in the at-bat, starting out 3-1 versus Elder. And the 3-1 is up and away. That's ball 4, and Tucker Elder gets a free pass for Stockton's first base runner. So Jordan Nitty, the batter for the Ospreys. He'll be followed in the order by the left-hander, Joe Gmitter. As Stockton with an early base runner thanks to a 5-pitch free pass. First pitch, working from the stretch, misses at the letters, 1-0. Hot shot, sent Carpenter to the ground. They'll get one, spins, fires. It's in time! Double play, 4-6-3, and a twirling and dancing Rutgers infield gets them out of the jam. Carpenter discussing something with the home plate umpire real quick, but no harm, no foul. Side is retired, and the Ospreys strand a runner on. We'll be right back. Antonio Sansone out of Middletown North, the junior left-hander, is the starter for the Stockton Ospreys, as Frankie Romand will be leading us off.
Now batting number 18, the second baseman, Frankie Romand.
Sansone missed the 2024 season due to injury. This season, 7 appearances, 4 starts, 2.83 ERA, 28 2/3 innings pitched, 22 strikeouts. Only 5 extra base hits allowed during the entire season. He has yet to allow a long ball. Oh, and 2 on the foul tip. After 2 fouls, it's now 0-2. Sansone, this one's laced out to right center field. This is going to split the gap. Romand is going to turn first and head to second. He'll pump the brakes there with a leadoff double. That'll bring up Ryan Nutley. Let's take a look at the Rutgers-Camden starting lineup brought to you by Harper Driving School. You just saw Frankie Romand. Ryan Nutley, the transfer out of Xavier, takes the third base spot. Ryan Joseph is in left field. Jack Murphy, the grad student first baseman, bats fourth. Stephen Schaefer out of Norfolk State, another transfer there in center. Brandon Petrick in right. Will Garral at the DH. Evan Carbone at the shortstop. And Evan Carbone at the catcher spot. Chris Smith is the shortstop. 1-0 to Nutley. Nutley, a 2-time transfer first out of Xavier and then out of Westchester. So this is his third collegiate team. But talking with Nutley in the offseason, it seemed like that the Gloucester Catholic product was ready for something new. He joined here in 2024. I apologize, it was LaSalle and Westchester. But of course, everybody knows LaSalle dropped their program during the COVID times. Luckily, they're bringing it back in 2026, which is very good to hear. 1-1 is inside. Nutley, though, is a senior, as we said, coming out of Logan Township and Gloucester Catholic. A career 309 hitter. This is his 70th game with the Raptors. 2 home runs, 25 RBI, and 33 runs scored. A 380 slugging percentage, as this one is hit well out to center field. The wind might carry this one back to the track, and it's gone! Holy goodness! Nutley fell down rounding first base, and it's a 2-run home run as the wind carries that ball all the way to Philadelphia. Ryan Nutley, 2-run shot, 2-0 Raptors. Ryan Nutley, have a day. That looked like he jammed it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Colin, that looked like he jammed the ball, and then it just went all the way out. It hit the tree.
Yeah, Nutley, I mean, he just stayed right on that the whole way. I mean, the wind really got a hold of that one right out to right center field, just right of that 401 sign, but a big momentum shift there for Rutgers-Camden.
Well, they got the big double play, and especially after losing yesterday's first game on the road, now it seems like, well, Ryan Joseph also wanted to send that ball to Philadelphia. Wanted to send that ball to Penn's Landing. It's 0-1. So Roman with a double, followed up by the 2-run shot by Nutley. Still nobody out off of Sansone. That one misses. Swing and a miss that time. 1-2 to Joseph. Joseph in recent years had limited playing time, but has now found himself in the meat of the order as a product, and a swing and a miss that time. 1 away. And now here is Jack Murphy out of West Epford. Murphy, a little bit of a rarer two-way player at the college level, is actually in his 6th season with the Scarlet Raptors. He played in 2 games in 2020 before COVID shut everything down, played 19 games in 2021, and then 40 in 22, 39 in 23, 38 in 2024, and this is his 32nd game. So he's up at 170 career games, 21 career homers, including 2 this year. His career high was 9 back in 2022 as a COVID sophomore. A career 489 slugger, 138 RBIs, and 163 hits. So he is one of the more seasoned players in Rutgers-Camden history. First game we covered here was 2023 between Rutgers Newark and Rutgers-Camden, and guess what? He was the cleanup hitter in that game too. Feels weird that this is going to be the last season with Murphy with the Raptors, as that one's fouled back, 2-2. Steven Schaefer, he's on deck for the Raptors, the transfer out of Norfolk State from a couple years back. I mean, that's the thing that Rutgers-Camden has really capitalized on, is taking in a lot of D1 transfers. As we said, Nutley out of LaSalle, Schaefer out of Norfolk State, and then Isaiah Pinckney, as there's a swing and a miss. Big slider there from the southpaw, and that's out number 2. So back-to-back Ks after the 2-run home run shift the tone. And Murphy's down on strikes. But you also have Isaiah Pinckney, who went to the main Rutgers campus in New Brunswick, transferred here. But a lot of excitement on that side of the ball. So a double, homer, and now 2 strikeouts. As I think it's important for Sansone to get locked in after that 2-run shot. It's never easy to recover after kind of getting lit up there early. And now he finds a way to get back into it with back-to-back Ks.
In this Rutgers-Camden lineup, Dan, they have a lot of heavy hitters early on, right? Someone like Jack Murphy. I was getting ready to say how I know you mentioned the wind is carrying the ball out today, as we saw with that first home run. However, some of these bigger guys, if they just get under the ball a little bit, we'll see how much it carries.
Yeah, this is very abnormal. 9 times out of 10, the wind is blowing right in your face. Here's Schaefer, left center field. This one will stay in the ballpark. and it'll be taken in left field to retire the side. Tucker Elder comes down with it, and after a 2-run shot to right center field off the bat of Ryan Nutley, Stockton will look to respond in the top half of the second. 2-0 Rutgers. Carpenter back on the hill in the top half of the second. Rutgers-Camden leads 2-0 over the Stockton Ospreys. Strike called. 4, 5, and 6 for Stockton. Joe Committer, Nick Avignano, and Robbie Ford. 1-1. Camden sent 5 men to the plate. After the 2-run shot went down in order, 2 strikeouts and a flyout. 1-1. Breaking ball did not go. Much to the displeasure of the Rutgers-Camden dugout.
Carpenter just missed with those last 2 pitches. He's staying competitive in the zone early, which is what he needs to do against the Stockton lineup, especially after that big loss yesterday.
Swing and a miss there. Absolutely agreed. 2-2. By the way, estimated distance on that home run by Ryan Nutley, it's home run number 58 on DWB across 2022 to 2025, powered by Google Analytics. 396 is the estimated distance. Throw to first is in time. That'll bring up Avignano. Avignano holds the record for the second longest shot with 437. This time last year, we were here versus Stockton, and he hit one well over the scoreboard in left center. And if you're curious, the longest, Paul Figueroa out of Bergen Community College last year hit one 447 feet against Camden County. Nearly hit the wrestling building in left field. That's all powered by Google Analytics. Well, Avignano pops it up. Schaefer got a bad read on it, and it'll drop in center. Avignano will pump the brakes at first, and it'll be an unusual base hit there as Schaefer stepped back. Seemed like he stumbled there on the turf in center, and it allowed the ball to find enough distance there between center and right for it to drop.
And we've been talking about the wind today carrying the ball out of the yard, but another thing you have to take into consideration is the outfielders, right? It's never easy catching those fly balls, especially those ones that are way up there at Rutgers-Camden home field as well as in these winds.
Yeah, I mean, this turf combined with the fact that these Rutgers-Camden players are kind of conditioned to work with the wind blowing against them. This kind of flips that ethos on its head, where 9 times out of 10 when we're here, the wind is right in our face. It's brutal, and it's 40 degrees. But today, it's 70, and the wind is blowing that way. So it's turning everything around. So the Rutgers-Camden players that's, I think, why Schaefer got a bad read on it, because he's used to the ball going in a complete opposite direction with the wind, and today being an exception with the wind blowing out. Just those river winds make it so difficult for people to hit home runs here. That's a line shot. Q shot in the left for a base hit. Robbie Ford. And Stockton is going to have 2 runners on in the top half of the second for the number 7 hitter, Cooper Fiore.
And as you're just saying, Dan, thank God it's 70 degrees because last time
Yes.
I was here, and I'm not sure if you've been here in between then, but on opening day for Rutgers-Camden, we were wearing winter hats and sweatshirts and sweatpants. And
Yeah,
now,
I have not been here since then, but I remember that Immaculata doubleheader very well, and unfortunately, very cold. But oof, that's what happens when you schedule baseball in February, you know? That's what happens. All right, so here is the number 7 hitter, Cooper Fiore. Strike called on the outside corner. 0-1. Little dribbler, that's a fair ball. It'll take a hop, but then Nutley picks it up in foul grounds. 0-2. Here in the New Jersey Athletic Conference from Camden, New Jersey, right beneath the bridge of the Ben Franklin, taking you into Philadelphia and to Route 30. And on our right, it would take you to Route 76 and 676. Throw back the second knot in time. And behind us, the Federal Street building here in Camden. Rutgers 2, Stockton 0, a 2-run shot by Ryan Nutley in the bottom half of the first. Got the offense going on a shot to right center field that looked like it was jammed, but the wind carried it. Outside 1 and 2. Groans and displeasures again from the Rutgers dugout. 1 and 2. Austin Beard, the DH, is next. Two and 2. Fiore out of Hamilton, New Jersey, where my grandparents are. He went to Steiner. Again, another product of the Colonial Valley Conference. I mean, you see that a lot where Rutgers-Camden has a lot of Olympic kids. Stockton has a lot of CVC kids. Sometimes these coaches, these recruiters, they pick up kids in bunches. They'll be going to a school for one kid, and then they'll come back, and they'll be like, hey, this other guy's also really good. We should get both of them. That's how D3 baseball works. It's not about, you know, you're not going to travel, you know, 6-7 hours to get a recruit. For these coaches, a lot of times the recruits come to them. Keen Phillips, the right-hander in the Rutgers bullpen, he came from just outside of Colorado Springs. He's really one of the few out-of-state players, but he came to Rutgers-Camden instead of Rutgers-Camden coming to them. And D3 baseball just kind of works in a funny way like that. Carpenter steps back. You know, I think we all think about the Division I spotlights, and even in Division I, there's levels to it. You know, the way that Alabama or LSU or Tennessee will recruit is very different from how Maryland Eastern Shore or Wagner or Seton Hall will recruit. They're all going to be very different in that way. 2-2 from Carpenter. Change up, jammed out towards short, picked up for 1. Could they turn their second double play of the day? They just did. These guys are rolling the dice, and they're rolling snake eyes. They've got themselves a twofer in double plays. Going to the bottom half of the second. Rutgers up 2.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Bottom of the second, this broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students that take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Down and away. Two and 0. The left-hander Brandon Petrick out of Cherokee. 6, 7, and 8 for the Raptors. Strike called, 2 and 1. Two and 2 now. He'll be followed by Will Garral and then Evan Carbone. Again, another player who feels like he's been around these parts forever. 2-2. Nearly chased at the slider away. That was some great restraint there from Petrick. Kind of had a bit of a corkscrew of a swing and then was able to hang on to it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lefty-lefty matchup, and Petrick, high chopper to first, it's foul. That's that kind of tomahawk swing that we like to see from Petrick. You know, sometimes he can lift that ball in the air, but sometimes he's just trying to get the ball in play. And to quote Dan Haverstick, Durango Cocos Valley head coach, he says it every day, when you put the ball in play, great things happen. 3 and 2. Stockton's left-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball popped up well over the infield. The cloudy day could make something difficult. It is caught at second base. For the first out, here's Garral. I'll say, for Sansone, this has been a very good rebound. You give up a 2-run home run, and then you make 4 straight outs, including 2 Ks. It's kind of a good lockdown there, especially for somebody that was injured for the entire 2024 season, you know, just kind of getting back on his feet. He's definitely done well to regain a little bit of confidence after the 2-run shot. So here is Will Garral. Checks one up at the letters. It's 1-0.
And after, you know, a big win for Stockton yesterday, this is one of those almost, you look at it as almost like trap game, I would say, for Stockton. You know, just went out and, you know, pummeled this Rutgers-Camden team, and, you know, now to rebound and come back after one day, I think that 2-run shot in the first was almost kind of a wake-up call for them.
Oh, absolutely. A notable absence in the Rutgers-Camden lineup today is Jacob Watson, the all-time stolen base leader for the Rutgers-Camden Raptors with, yes, a grand total of 87 in 2.5 seasons.
Wow.
That's Braden Sharkey numbers right there. That's a 4-pitch walk to Garral. That'll bring up Carbone. The last game he played was versus NJCU on the 29th, so I'm not sure if he was injured or what, but especially, you know, when you're looking at a Rutgers-Camden game and Jacob Watson is not the leadoff man, like it feels almost what's it called? Almost feels fake, you know. I'm looking at it, I'm like, where is he? But yeah, he hasn't played since March 29th, so the assumption I would assume is an injury. But we'll talk to some of our guys in between innings, and we'll see if there's any merit to that. But a lefty-lefty matchup here after Garral's walk. It's Carbone. He'll be followed up by Smith, the shortstop. 1-1.
And for someone like Sansone, it is hard for him to come back after that, second hitter of the game, 2-run shot to right center field. I mean, that ball was
That one hit him. I think that hit him right in the you-know-what. That's a double play, and you know what? That's a double play. 1-6-3. They've been turning 2 left and right. We're already through 2 here at Rutgers. 2-0 Raptors. We welcome you back to Rutgers-Camden as we're through 2 here just beneath the Ben Franklin Bridge. The Patco train taking people home for the weekend and for Easter Sunday. I personally will be in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia Phillies, or not with them, watching the game, but that one's on the first pitch, hit out to right center field. Schaefer backpedaling to the wall. It's not gonna get there. Schaefer, with an outstretched glove, will surrender a double to lead off the third. And there's been a couple of plays like that where it just seems like the wind or whatnot has kind of thrown these Rutgers players for a loop. And we did get confirmation. Rutgers has been dealing with some injuries. Jacob Watson, some kind of ankle tendon ligament kind of thing. He sat out spring break, came back for a couple of games, then he got shut down. So the all-time stolen base leader for the Raptors with 87. He'll have another season, but unfortunately he looks like he is out for the rest of 2025. And then Diego Salazar yesterday tore his bicep, and Billy Richards has a torn meniscus. So, yeah, Rutgers is kind of going through the motions right now. You know, it's very difficult as a manager. If you're Ryan Kulik, it's very difficult to craft a lineup when, you know, you've got some players that are down with injuries. Like we said, 2 freshmen are starting today, Chris Smith and Will Garral. It's kind of a wake-up call, especially after losing yesterday, and then you lost one of your best infielders in Salazar. So we're going to have a bunt here. It'll bounce very well into turf. Carpenter, underhand throw to first. Moves the runner over successfully. That'll be a successful sacrifice to turn the lineup card back over to Antonucci.
And other than getting a hit right there, that was probably as good as a bunt as you could have got there for the Ospreys.
The thing is, though, is that bunting here with the turf can always be a bit of a question mark because the ball's just going to roll. It's going to roll and roll. It's not like we're dealing with high grass where that bunt can just die in the infield. That's not going to happen here. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that philosophy goes through as Antonucci fouls it back. So Beard with a double out to right center. He moves to third on a sacrifice bunt. With one away, we turn the lineup card back over to Antonucci. Stockton started out their season with a doubleheader loss to Arcadia. They're 15-15. 6-4 on the road, 6-6 at home. They've won 3 straight. Also participated in the Russmat Central Florida Invitational in Lakeland, playing a handful of schools that Rutgers has played, like Penn State Brandywine. They played Keystone College. They also played Husson University, which, shout out to Husson, they gave me a scholarship offer. Unfortunately, I did not go. Maine is just a little too far for me. But, yeah, 3 straight wins. They took care of, last couple games they played, they split their DH with Montclair State, and then beat Gwinnett Mercy 13-4. After this, they've only got a handful of games left. We are pretty late in the college regular season. They play NJCU on Saturday, and then FDU Florham in Madison on Tuesday, 3:30 there. 3 balls, 1 strike to Antonucci.
And not to cut you off, Dan, but
yes.
Antonucci, if you look at his back right foot there.
Hold on here. Tapper to third. We'll continue that thought with a ground out that holds the runner for out number 2.
If you took a look at that back right foot, that is really, really hugging the plate right on that white line. Doesn't make it any easier for Carpenter.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any easier. Reminds me a little bit of Kyle McSorley out of RCSJ Gloucester. You know, a guy that just crowds the plate. And sometimes as a leadoff guy, you want that. Like Juan Pierre used to do that all the time, where he would almost be like keeled over the plate because that one's foul. Because, well, what happens if you can't get a hit? Hope that you get hit. Fastball runs inside, it hits you. It'll sting a little bit, but you get on. And there's some guys that are like that, where they're not afraid to basically stand on the line and try to get the best advantage that they could, just in any way possible. Here's Elder. Elder walked his first time. Stockton and Rutgers-Camden have combined for 3 double plays. The second and first innings for the Ospreys have ended in that manner.
And maybe one of the most unusual you'll see today.
The 1-6-3.
You get them while you can, Dan.
Exactly. Nettie is next if the inning continues for the Ospreys. Runner on third. Ospreys looking for their first run of the game. Rutgers-Camden at one point in the season was nationally ranked. They are 21-11 on the campaign, 5-6 in the conference. So actually their conference record isn't too far off from Stockton. Stockton 4-7 in the NJAC. Well, Rutgers is only 1 win better at 5-6. They, however, do have a big home field advantage. They are 11-2 at home. Meanwhile, they only have a 6-5 record away and then a 4-4 record neutrally. They had some really good games down in Central Florida. They played Babson College. As the 3-1 is high. Elder walks for the second time today. They played nationally ranked Babson College and number 3 ranked Johns Hopkins University. I mean, they've played Johns Hopkins the last couple of years. They played them in Baltimore last year. They have been very impressive in that regard. But a 5-3 ground out for Antonucci. Elder walked for the second time, and now here is Nitty.
And Carpenter seems to be staying away from Elder, but I don't mind that walk if he chooses to attack
Absolutely.
Nitty here.
Strike called. Rutgers-Camden split their season series with 20th ranked Rowan. A high-scoring series. The home game was 11-2, a loss, and then the win on the road at Glassboro was 20-12. That's actually, as strange as it may seem, it's actually not that crazy for college. Because think about it. These guys are strong men, and not only that, they are also college athletes. These guys are 22, 23 years old, and they got a lot of power in them. And when you give them a metal bat, guess what? That's going to happen. And Rowan is a pretty hitter-friendly park as well. I mean, who knows? When they played there, could have been blown out that day. Count is 0-2, though, to Nitty. The product out of Steiner, the senior infielder, started all 40 games for the Ospreys last year and has started all 26. He has never not started a game that he's played in, 147 in a row. Here's the pitch. That's lined right center field. That could split the gap, and it will not, as it's caught and right to retire the side. Ospreys leave 2 runners on, and they are still held scoreless. Going to the bottom of the third here in Rutgers, 2-0. Chris Smith leads us off in the bottom half of the third. Sansone showed bunt, pulled back, but did not get the call. It's 0-1. Sansone has really rebounded in a great way, picked up a double play at the end of the second inning. 3 total double plays turned today. Strike called. Smith, Romand, and Nutley, 9-1 and 2. Ryan Kulik, you know, he's been here and done that. Former minor league pitcher in the Blue Jays and Cardinals system. There's a base hit in the center field. I think he understands how to develop a player and how to develop a good lineup, especially in kind of a trying time when your best base stealer is injured, one of your best infielders are injured. They're winning the game right now, you know, and they've won, 3 of their last 5. So it's not absurd to say that a little bit of unusual lineup creation is in the order. Just something to get these guys going and get them ready for the playoffs. But it's not going to be easy without Watson for the rest of the season. But Smith picked up a base hit.
But that's what makes the best, right, is able to filter in the lineup, in and out, people, injured people.
That shoots in the right field. That's a base hit for Romand. He's 2 for 2. Smith gets the green light. Throw to third is not in time. And look who sneaks in the second. It's Romand. So that's going to be a double here for Romand, his second of the day, and now here's Nutley. We'll remind you what he did in the first, homer to right center field. This time, though, Nutley's got 2 runners on, chance to do a lot more damage here. Again, for the transfer out of LaSalle and Westchester. LaSalle bringing back their program for the 2026 season. A handful of South Jersey guys already committed there. Chase Birchfield out of Pennsville, Josh Manganiello out of Williamstown. Oh, what a play at short. He stopped it, but they're not going to get a play at home. Diving in is Smith, and it's 3-0 on what's going to be an infield single. But, oh my goodness, what a rollover at short there. How about that? That'll be Joseph now. Romand holds at second. RBI infield single for Nutley. He's got all 3 runs on the board. Here's Ryan Joseph.
Bresnan was just, as best of an effort as you can give on that one. Unfortunately, had no play.
That's a play that you can't make on grass, only turf. Another bunt there, moves both runners over successfully on the sacrifice. There's going to be 1 away after 3 straight hits. Moves Nutley to second, Romand to third, and now here is Jack Murphy. Murphy, probably his most prized moment as a Raptor was back on April 17th of last year versus Alvernia. Hit a walk-off single to complete a 7-2 comeback on senior night for the Raptors. Little did we know he was coming back for a graduate year. And then he got the base hit over the middle. It was one of the most electrifying games I had ever heard. Before they put up these wires or these nets to keep people out of the broadcast area, there were people lined up from my right foot all the way over, just jam-packed. It was a wonderful night. It was a little bit chilly, but it didn't really matter because Alvernia and Rutgers-Camden, that was just a dogfight. Such a great game. It's 0-2 to Murphy. Time called by the catcher. Schaefer was asking if it was a balk called, but no, the catcher called time so that he can talk to Sansone, but 0-2 count to Murphy. He's in a good spot. Got 2 runners in scoring position. A ball over the middle can score 2. I think that's what he wants here. You know, he's got 19 career home runs, but he doesn't need one. They're up by 3. Good chance to extend the lead. You don't need to do anything crazy. Don't need to, swing out of your shoes. Just do the fundamentals. Like I said, I'll repeat it like a broken record. Hit the ball in play, great things will happen.
I'm sure he'd take that home run right now, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying he doesn't need it. It's not like a situation where, you're down by 4 and you need a grand slam to tie it. No. In this situation, he's less worried about that and, more worried about getting good contact. And, I mean, the infield has shifted over a little bit to his left as a right-handed hitter. He does seem to hit the ball the opposite way a handful of times, but the 0-2. This ball is hit well out to left field. This has some serious height to it, and it's caught. Runner tags. Throw to the plate is cut off by Brenson, and that'll be a sacrifice fly. 4-0 Raptors. As coming in to score is Romand. He's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, and now has scored both times. Here's Schaefer. Nutley holds at second. Here's Schaefer. Schaefer's hit a couple of home runs on our watch, including a 3-run shot versus Rosemont last year. During a doubleheader, he homered in Tuesday's win over Rowan, the 20-12 game. No balls, 1 strike. Strike called, 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. That one misses, 2-1. 3-1, excuse me. One gets called a strike, 3-2. Full count here. Stockton will bat 4, 5, and 6. Committer, Avignano, and Ford in the top half of the 4th inning. 4-0 Rutgers-Camden. 2 runs in the first and 2 runs in the second. Here's the 3-2. Oh, what a pitch. He got him. Schaefer saying he didn't swing. Kulik's going to argue it. And the inning is over. He's saying, no way. He'll walk away. Umpire tells him to back off. The inning is over. So Kulik not happy about that one, and I don't know if I disagree with him. We go to the top half of the 4th. 4-0 Rutgers. Rutgers-Camden scored 2 more in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. They now send Joe Committer to the plate versus Carpenter, 0-1. Handful of notable faces in the crowd today for in this Rutgers-Camden game. We saw the Medford Renegades be introduced to the field. The Harvey brothers at a Cinnaminson as well, the 1,000-point scorers in the BCSL. Also, well, they've got the Richmond commit, Noah Harvey, at shortstop over there, but need to see a Cinnaminson game this year. We've tried twice, and they got rained out both times, 1 and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carpenter facing Gmitter, Avignano, and Robbie Ford, 4, 5, and 6 in the top half of the 4th inning. Rutgers scored 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, and the 1-2 down and away, 2 and 2 now.
Good work by Carbone behind the dish there.
I think it's a little bit easier on turf when you're not dealing with dirt and grass and everything. I'm not saying that his job is easy at all, but I'm saying that when you're at a high school level, like Colin, you play for Highland, that grass can be a little bit tall in the outfield. It was certainly tall when we were there. Absegami had the same problem, high grass. Here, regardless of whether you're playing on turf or grass, everything's very well conditioned. And I think that that's a good leap that players are making to where, they're able to play on those fields that have a lot more love put into them. Not saying that those fields don't have love put into them, but I'm saying that, this turf field was years in the making. So they have conditioned it very well. 3-2 count. Gmitter struck out swinging his first time. And that'll be a free pass. Gmitter whips the bat down to first. And it's Avignano who singled on a funky fly ball to center field. His first at bat. Don't forget our next broadcast will be, Monday. Camden Catholic and Cherokee in some spring break action.
Should be a very solid game.
2 Olympic opponents there. Seen Camden Catholic once this season. We'll be seeing them again, and then Cherokee will be seeing them twice next week. Brandon Petrick School will be seeing them, Monday and Friday versus Burlington Township at 11 a.m.
I think we can confidently say Cherokee has quickly became one of the powerhouses of South Jersey.
Well, they have such a young team that's so ready to go. Brett Chiesa, Cooper Birdie, the left-hander, Henry Radbill, just so many great players over there. Not to mention Jordan Henriquez as well. Just so many great players out there in the Olympic Conference. The Olympic Conference is so competitive this year. I mean, Camden Catholic beat Shawnee, and I think a lot of people had Shawnee winning that game. But think about it this way: Rancocas Valley just lost to Schaefer in our first game of the day, 10-3. Luke Pokrovsky, who's committed to Penn, hit a home run in that game. So yeah, the stars of tomorrow and the dreams of today. It's always great covering high school sports, but college is a little bit different. And there's something about covering college sports that, especially at the D3 level, these guys earned a spot on the roster. There's no nepotism like there could be at the high school level. There's no politics. It's just, if you are a good player, you're going to play. That one fouled back. That one hit the Rutgers dugout, and it's 2-2. I mean, there's no denying in high school sports, there's some politics involved, especially in terms of football and basketball. There's just some times where the people who are the best players are not the ones getting the most time. People don't really talk about that, but it's an unfortunate reality. Avignano standing on the right corner of the box. It's going to skip. Wonder if they would appeal that swing. That ball went all the way up to the Stockton dugout down the third base line. I was surprised they didn't appeal the swing. It's 2-2. 3-2. Scoreboard just didn't update. There we go. As we said, Avignano homered in last year's contest between Stockton and Rutgers right here in this very ballpark. Carpenter looks back. 3-2. Wade! Whoa, look out. He just saw his life flash before his eyes. That's a free pass. And here's Robbie Ford now, who's singled in his last at-bat. So back-to-back free passes. We're going to have an infield visit. Ryan Kulik will come out. No action in either bullpen at this time. As we said for the rest of the week on DWB, Camden Catholic and Cherokee on Monday. Tuesday, we're going to have a nice one back here at Rutgers with the Centenary Cyclones and the Rutgers-Camden Scarlet Raptors. That's a 6 o'clock start. Wednesday, the 23rd, will be at Gloucester for a colonial matchup between the Haddon Township Hawks and the Gloucester Lions. And then Thursday is a doubleheader. We've got our fan vote. Make sure to vote for what game you want to see on Thursday. We've got Shawnee and Rancocas Valley coming up against Gloucester Catholic and Washington Township. Washington Township is currently leading the vote with over 70 votes cast already, 62 points to 38, or 62% to 38%. Looks like we could be going to Washington Township on Thursday. But either way, that will be, regardless of where we go, depending on if there's rain in the forecast, which at the moment doesn't look like there's any, that would be our 500th broadcast. Today is number 496, and then as we go on through the week, we're going to get closer and closer to 500. Like I said, I started this this company very informally in 2021 when I was a sophomore in high school, and I was just doing Audubon games, a lot like what Colin's been doing with Highland and Tartan TV. You know, I was an Audubon-only business to start. Didn't think we would ever be covering Division III college baseball. I didn't think that we would be, you know, traveling to Pennsylvania and Delaware soon to do some broadcasts, and possibly we have some stuff in the works for upstate New York this spring. So there is a lot to be excited about. Like I said, I was a sophomore in high school when this started. There is so much more that we have accomplished over the last 3.5 years, including covering high-level D3 baseball here at the Camden Complex. 1-0, a bunt, back in front of the mound, a very high jumper. Carpenter didn't get it, Nutley didn't get it, and a bunt will load the bases for Cooper Fiore. Wonder if that was a misread there, either by Carpenter or by Nutley or both. I mean, in that situation, Carpenter put his hands up like it was Nutley's responsibility. I feel like the way that bunt was placed, it was really almost no man's land out there.
And Dan, as you were saying, with all, you know, your accolades and achievements and things coming up soon, like, I commend you highly for that, but just, you're talking about that stuff, and I think it's pretty impressive that this is your second game of the day.
Yeah, I got stuck in traffic, you know, things happen. We got here at 2:45. We were able to start the broadcast on time, even though I was in a panicking sweat. But listen, enough about that. The tying run is at the plate, and it's Cooper Fiore. Outside, 1-0. Bases loaded, nobody out, and that Stockton dugout is getting loud. Beard, the DH, is on deck. And I like this situation for Stockton. They are fired up. They are ready to go. They are looking to take advantage of Rutgers' mistakes here and make the best of them. Hit out towards right field. That one is going to blow towards right. It's caught. Runner will tag, and the Ospreys are on the board. Scoring is Gamitter, and that's out number one. It is 4-1. So a sac fly to right. And the last four batters and the first four batters of this inning have all done at least something productive. Avignano moves to third. Ford will stay put at first. We've got runners in the corners, Frost and Beard. Out of Toms River South, 22 games last year, 19 starts, a .323 average this year in 7 starts. 10 hits, 6 RBI, 3 doubles, and a .419 slugging percentage, and a .421, .419 slugging, .421 on base. So the number 8 hitter looking to do some more damage as he now becomes the tying run. Up and away, 1-0.
And this is a crucial situation here for Carpenter to go at this batter. He's already had 2 today, looking for his 3rd double play here.
It'll be very important for that infield to make sure that everybody's on the same page in that regard. throw to first, not in time. By the way, as we mentioned before, we were talking about Thursday. Looks like Gloucester Catholic Washington Township might be the winner of that one. Friday will be a doubleheader. I'm sorry, Thursday in the afternoon, we'll have another doubleheader with Seneca and PVI at 4 o'clock. As that one wasn't a strike, throw down to second, not in time. That takes care of the double play situation. So Ford moves up to second, and the count is 1-1. But Friday, again, a doubleheader. We've got Burlington Township and Cherokee at 11, and then Gateway and Pittman at 6 p.m. that night under the lights from Alcyon Park. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Probably the coolest scene in South Jersey, in my opinion, is Alcyon Park.
Not even this?
I mean,
or are you talking about high school
baseball.
Exclusive? Yes. Because high school games are played here pretty frequently, but it's not a high school primary field.
Correct.
So that's a good point. Count is 1-2. 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position, as Austin Beard, who already has a double to his name in this one, is the tying run. A long ball would make it 4-4. Let's see what he's got in the tank. Hit well, center field. Schaefer is there. He's backpedaling, facing the ball. That one will score another run on a sacrifice fly. Avignano trots in from third, and it's now 4-2. So even if it's not in the most glamorous way, Stockton is still getting the runs home. And I think that's important here for Stockton. They don't need to pummel the baseball. They just need to get runs home. And down by 4, what's the most efficient way to do it? Put the ball in play. 2 fly balls to center field, back-to-back sacrifice flies, and they still have a runner in scoring position for Bresnan, the shortstop. Always a good situation there. Two outs, runner on second. Carpenter is set. Lifts the leg and delivers. That one is a strike call, 0-1. Here an NJAC play from the Camden Athletic Complex, 71 degrees here in Camden. Wind blowing out to center field. Saw that on full display in the first with a Ryan Nutley home run. Count is 1-1. Shot out towards short, picked up Smith. Sidearm throw is in time, and the side is retired. Stockton gets 2 runs back on back-to-back sacrifice flies. They cut the lead in half. It's 4-2 going to the bottom half of the 4th.
He's donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop it. It's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at Rutgers-Camden. First pitch is outside to Petrick. Start off the bottom half of the 4th inning. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy with the most organic food products available in South Jersey today. Along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. You can visit today or 7 days a week at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon. 2-0, way up and in there. Petrick dives back, and it's 3-0. Both pitchers seem to be having a bit of an issue with controlling the ball today. It just seems like in one dose or another, I mean, that's a 4-pitch walk there to Petrick. Just got to find a way to locate in the strike zone, because this is going to be a long night if neither pitcher can effectively command the strike zone. I mean, that was to be fair, that was the first walk by Samson, but Carpenter's allowed 3 so far, and you know, that's just it's not something that you really look for as a fan. You want to see some of those higher action plays. Well, sometimes it just comes down to the grinding halt of a ball game, especially here just near the midway point. Oh, that was a bunt that hit Corral. I think it hit him in the maybe at the handle of the bat, and then back up and hit him. Very good crowd on hand here today at Camden. More than usual, honestly. I mean, just a lot of parents, a lot of people enjoying the day.
Enjoying the weather.
Yeah. A Friday afternoon, and oh, that one's going to get thrown away. Contact with Petrick at first. The ball rolls up into the Rutgers bullpen. Avignano just threw it from the mound on a line to third. Man, if he got him down there, that might have been one of the best plays I had seen in a long time. He literally got up and picked it up from the mound, from the warm-up mound down there. It just rolled right up there. He does advance 2 bases on an E1. Again, just a bit of an unfortunate situation there. Whoa, that one's way high. It's going to ricochet back to the pitcher, or back to the catcher. That was a very lucky bounce. I mean, there's some times where the ball hits off the fence and just dies. That time it got the perfect launch point to go right back and keep Petrick at third. Count is 1-1.
And that was really fortunate for Stockton as well. I mean, as you can tell, their infield's up, Dan, so they're looking to cut down this run at third.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Petrick's pretty quick. If Corral hits the ball on the ground, I mean, he walked last time, and now Stockton will come out and have a quick conversation with their man Sansone. Stockton led by Rich Gawlak, 2008 grad of TCNJ, assisted by Steve Bucci, Glenn Wyatt, Steve Struble, and Phil Kahn, managed by, or student managed by Matt Huff. Rutgers-Camden clapping it up, the dugout. Good rhythm there. But this will be the first game, or I should say, they're going to be playing 4 games in 3 days with the doubleheader with NJCU tomorrow, which I believe NJCU is either closing or being absorbed by another college soon. Just like Rosemont is becoming a Villanova subcampus. I don't know what the deal is with NJCU, to be quite honest with you, but Stockton is playing them on Saturday. Rutgers has already played them in the last weekend of March. 2-2 to Corral. Breaking ball right down the pipe for strike 3. And that is out number 1. Corral strikes out looking. Strikeout number 4 for Sansone. There is a right-hander warming up in the pen. Lineup turns over to, no, not over yet. Still 8-9 left with Carbone and Smith. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Looks like that's Danny Snyder warming up in the pen for Stockton. Here's the 0-1. Wanted and didn't get it. 1-1 now. course, we were right in Stockton territory on Tuesday, mile away from campus when we were at Absegami. Saw them beat Buna 7-1. Right near Stockton, the only pizza place I've ever seen open until 1 a.m. that's not Domino's or Pizza Hut. Really good place called Giovanni's. We're never down in Atlantic County, so we were maybe a mile away from the Stockton campus. There's a bunt. They're going to try to cut down the runner. They're going to throw back to third. Nearly a costly play, and he's safe. Hold on here. Well, Gawlak's going to come out with Smith at the plate. I'm not sure what the argument is.
They didn't look very comfortable either. I'm not sure it had anything to do with him being safe or out, but it was kind of a bang-bang, awkward kind of play there at third base.
Honestly, if I was him, I think I would have held on to the ball. I mean, the chance of him throwing it away and getting another run home, I think that risk is greater than throwing it back to third and trying to get the back pick out. They are going to, they did the headphone signal. They're going to confer here. Now, in the NJAC, there is no real, I mean, the replay review, whatever, they want to try to figure something out here. Now, they cannot use our video for the purposes of replay review. There is a second broadcast going up above that is run officially by Rutgers-Camden, and that is the official feed that they will use for replay review. So they'll go back and look at the footage. But because we are independent and not school affiliated, our footage is ineligible for that kind of review.
So Dan, let me ask you a question. Since you are affiliated with RCSJ, would they be able to use your footage for replay review?
Well, yes, if they had replay review, but JUCO does not have replay review.
They do not, okay.
Just because the resources down there. So there's one of the Rutgers. So this is actually really interesting. We've never seen this before in college baseball. We've covered like 10 college games this year, and we just haven't seen it. That's one of the Rutgers-Camden facilities managers out there. She has the iPad and is showing the umpire the footage. And the call is safe. I have never seen that before, but the call stands, and Petrick will be at third. So that's not as fancy as they do it in the major leagues, but that's still actually a really good tool. Carbone with a base hit on the infield, and Smith showed bunt. That ball almost got away.
Little action down the left field line for Stockton there.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Snyder is in action at third. Down the third base line, I should say. Out of Lenape.
Also, a couple members of Rutgers-Camden have migrated down the first base line of their bullpen.
One ball, one strike.
I believe Carpenter is throwing well today, though. I mean, obviously.
He's throwing well, but I think at the same time, though, you know, with Rutgers a little bit exhausted from yesterday's loss. Oh, hold on here. Run will score. They'll get it down. Sacrifice bunt by Smith. Little suicide squeeze there. Gets the run home on the infield. And that is their fifth run of the game. 5-2. It's a dangerous piece of hitting, but I like it. It's bold. It's creative. And it turns the lineup over to Roman, who's doubled twice today. If he can swing the bat, put a guy in a good position. Put a runner at second base and see what magic you can pull off with it. Sansone kicks and delivers. Strike called. Nutley on deck if the inning continues. We're through, actually in the bottom of the fourth, 5-2. Oh, that one got him right in the shoulder. he'll be making a CVS trip for ibuprofen tomorrow morning, and that one will send him down to first base. So Roman reaches base for the third time in a row today.
And a chance here to really blow this open for Rutgers-Camden. Ryan Nutley already going yard today in the first.
And also at an RBI infield single in the bottom half of the third. Rutgers only went scoreless in the second. They put 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and now 1 in the fourth. That ball gets trapped between the legs of the catcher Fior. Count is 1-0 to Nutley. So Nutley 2 for 2, 2-run home run in the first, RBI single in the third. High and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Hit down the left field line and foul. Two balls, 1 strike as the train passes overhead. Sansone delivers inside, 3-1. Yeah, Sansone just starting to struggle here. He had a hit by pitch in his last at-bat. Petrick, of course, started the inning on a 4-pitch walk. And, of course, the earlier troubles with the base hits. Just seems like he's starting to lose grip of the ball here. Tried to lean in a little bit, but it is ball 4. That is the 3rd walk of the day for Sansone. A nod down to the left field bullpen. Snyder may be coming in soon, maybe not now. With 2 outs, I think that the 2 outs and the bases loaded, I think the big thing for them is try to get out of the inning first. Before you have any action plan, get out of the inning. You know, before you have to worry about putting in the right-hander, worry about getting out of the inning first with Schaefer. Or with Joseph, rather. Strike called. Joseph is 0 for 1. He has a strikeout and a sacrifice hit to his record, sacrifice bunt. And the 0-1. Below the knees, 1-1. Strike called again. 1-2. Joseph steps back into the box, crouched in the lower right corner of the right-handed box. Sansone with his jersey flapping in the wind. Set. And delivers. Outside, 2-2. The longer Joseph can keep this at-bat alive, the better for him, in my opinion. You know, he's got the bases loaded. Even if he doesn't do anything with it, still got to run home, but Rutgers-Camden, they would love to do so much more with this. 2-2. Got jammed, but this is going to drop in left center field. 2 runs are going to score. Roman gets the stop sign at third, and it's a 2-run single off the handle of the bat for Ryan Joseph. And that's a 3 spot in the bottom half of the fourth. It is 7-2 Rutgers.
Now batting number 12, Murphy.
Here's Murphy. Roman at third. Or Nutley at third. Roman came in. And Carbones also scored on that play. So here's Murphy. 0 for 1, a strikeout, and a sacrifice fly to left. That brought home a run for the first of 2 in the third. 1 ball, no strikes to Murphy. If the inning continues, Schaefer will be next. Dribbled foul towards the Stockton dugout.
I can't imagine Golick has much more of a leash here for Sansone.
I wouldn't imagine that either. Just with the way this game has been going, a chance to explode it more. You don't want to put your team behind like that, especially with only one guy warming up. You know, he knows he's going to be next in line. He just doesn't know when. High and away. They will not throw it down to second. And instead an uncontested stolen base for Joseph.
And for Gaulig, this is him trying to save his bullpen, in my eyes.
Especially with the doubleheader tomorrow with NJCU.
Yup, and giving Sandstone a chance to get out of this, save one of his arms for an inning, but we'll see if he has another hit here, can knock him out.
Oh, threw behind him there. 3-1. Nearly grazed his backside, and now it's 3 balls, 1 strike to Jack Murphy. And a walk would load the bases for Steven Schaefer. Not the kind of situation you want to put him in. I think that if he gets Murphy on, this is his last batter. 3-1. Fouled straight back. Again, Steve Schaefer, 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. The transfer from Norfolk State, and also graduate of Burlington City. The only hitter from Burlington City in the last 25 years to get in the 100 hit club in the BCSL over there. 3-2. Foul tip, barely made contact with it. Just faintly hear the tink of the bat. I mean, Sansone in a war zone here with Murphy. 2 on, 2 runners in scoring position, mind you. And Rutgers already with a 3 spot in the 4th. They're up 7-2. And the pitch. Checked. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. And the inning is over. Murphy unhappy with the call, but the inning is retired nonetheless. 3 runs come across for the Scarlet Raptors, including an RBI 2-run single by Ryan Joseph. We're through 4 here in Camden. It's Stockton 2, Rutgers 7.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Well, Rutgers-Camden plated 3, sent 8 batters to the plate as we're through 4 out of this 9-inning contest in the NJAC here at Rutgers-Camden. This broadcast is brought to you by the Rowan College of South Jersey Roadrunners Athletic Department. Become a Roadrunner today by filling out their prospective athlete form at rcroadrunners.com and join me in the wonderful national championship contending programs across all sports in the NJCAA Region 19. You can also follow them on their social media platforms at RC Roadrunners. Back at the top of the card for Stockton, Antonucci, Elder, and Nitty. 1, 2, and 3. Antonucci 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out to third on his resume today. That one is away. Carpenter still in the game. There were a handful of right-handers warming up in the Rutgers pen. That has now subsided. However, there are still some stretching. So there is a new right-hander warming up in the pen for Stockton, as that is number 55 for the Ospreys, which is Tim Welch, the right-hander out of Allentown.
And Dan, not to cut you off, but that's another thing that, you know, people watching at home won't be able to see is how talented you have to be to remember every single one of your ad reads with no paper or anything. That's very, very impressive.
Oh my gosh! I thought you were going to talk about something important like the baseball game.
Yeah, right.
2 and 2. Carpenter, ground ball out towards second base, picked up by Romand. Throw to first is in time. That's the first out. By the way, catching Tim Welsh down the left field line is one of my, one of my good acquaintances from Audubon High School, Ryan Zimmer. He's down there right now catching Welsh. He played 4 years of Audubon varsity baseball. Got to know him very well over the last 4 years. Didn't get to say hi before the game, but yeah, no, I mean, he was originally, oh, hold on here, ground ball, out to second, and throw to first is in time. So back-to-back ground outs in a 4-3 manner. Retire Elder and Antonucci. But yeah, got to know each other very well over the last 4 years, and glad to see that he's still doing well over at Stockton. Thought he was going to be a Rowan kid at first, and then he decided to go to a different school in the NJAC. But a 4-3 ground out to Antonucci and a 4-3 ground out to Elder bring up Nitty. Strike called.
And if
1-1.
Carpenter can get out of this inning, obviously 2 very quick outs. If he can get one more quick out here with Nitty, that would be just absolutely huge for his pitch count and for this Rutgers-Camden team.
0-1. There's exactly what you mentioned. Ground out to short. Throw across is low, but in time. Inning over. Side retired on 3 very swift ground balls. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Halfway home here in Camden, 7-2. New pitcher for the Ospreys, Tim Welsh out of Allentown High School, up in the Colonial Valley Conference in Mercer County. 7.82 ERA in 7 appearances this year, all relief, 12 2/3 innings. 13 hits, 11 earned runs, 5 walks, 14 Ks, and a .283 average against. Schaefer, hot shot, hits off of Welsh's glove, and he kind of bounces it to first there. It's in time. Kind of John Lester style there. There's out number 1. And Schaefer, the only man to not bat in the 4th, is retired. Here's Petrick.
Now batting number 9, Brandon Patrick.
Petrick, 0 for 1. Pop out and a walk to his name today. That one skips in. 1-0. Don't forget to stay tuned on Monday for the upload of episode number 19 of the Dan Wilkins Show, the podcast that brings you everything you need to know in South Jersey and a look within. There's a pop-up over the infield, out towards second. Ford is there. Out number 2. So Petrick is retired. But on Monday, the Dan Wilkins Show returns for another season in episode 19, bringing you everything you need to know on the insider experience in South Jersey. In episode 19, we interview Mark DeRuggiero, the head coach of Woodbury boys basketball, who won the state title in 2018, had to resign due to an NJSIAA infraction, bounced around all of South Jersey, but where he wanted to be was back home, and that's exactly what he did, winning the 2025 Group 1 sectional title in South Jersey. Listen to us talk and more on The Dan Wilkins Show. You can find that under the Videos tab if you click on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. You can watch all of our old episodes, including our interviews with last season, Tad Kosanowski, Dan McMaster, Angel Rodriguez, and Colin Ambrosius.
My God, that Woodbury run this year had to be one of the most impressive.
Incredible.
We've seen in the last couple years out of South Jersey hoops.
1-1, Growl hits it well in the left field, but straight away. That'll be enough to retire the side. Elder comes down with it, and a scoreless fifth for the right-hander and true freshman, Smith. The inning is over, Welsh, sorry, Tim Welsh. We go to the top half of the sixth here in Camden, 7-2.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor.
Joe Gamitter leads us off in the top half of the sixth, as he's done 3 times today. With the man before him, Nitty, being 0 for 3, he's led off 3 separate innings, the second, fourth, and now the sixth. It's 1-0, as the same trio of Gamitter, Avignano, and Ford will bat here in the in the top half of the sixth inning. Stockton 2, Rutgers-Camden 7. That one's outside, 2-0.
A little bit of movement down the right field line for the Rutgers-Camden bullpen.
Possibly, that's not Chase Cooper down there, is it? That's, let's see here, give us 1 second there, as there's a fly ball. Out to center field, Schaefer backpedals and makes the catch. First out.
That was that example of the wind just kind of carrying that ball. That was a routine pop-up on a normal day, but carried a little bit further today.
Absolutely. Dylan Oliver, the left-hander, junior, is in the bullpen for Rutgers-Camden. Stockton, as we said, going into this game, 15-15, an even 500 on the season so far. They have won the last 3, including a sweep, and then a win in the first game of this 2-game season set versus Rutgers-Camden. Avignano shakes it off, 2-0. By the way, NJAC scores from yesterday all came in. Keene beat Ramapo 4-2. Montclair beat NJCU 6-2. Rowan downed TCNJ 7-2. William Patterson beat Rutgers Newark 13-8, and then Rutgers-Camden fell to Stockton 14-3. That one is hit in the left field. Avignano with a base hit. Lines it into the left field side for Joseph. And a 1-out knock puts Stockton in some business here. So Ford will bat. By the way, some live live NJAC updates. Rowan leads TCNJ 7-3 with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th. In Kane and Ramapo, Kane leads Rutgers, Ramapo 6-0 in the 6th, including a 5-run third inning for the, I believe they're the Cougars up there in Kane. Let's see here, see if we can find anything on that regard in terms of Montclair and NJCU. Seems like that's the one page that's not working. And then William Patterson up 5-4 on Rutgers Newark. That's what I love about D3 college baseball. Live stats for every game. Because there's at least somebody keeping them. That one is down. We don't have that luxury in high school. We do not.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I was doing the Schaefer and RV game today, and I only found one game that was even being reported on because 2 reporters were at the same game. Kevin Minnick and Al Muskowitz were at Haddon Heights and Pennsville. So everybody who wanted to watch something could either watch, I mean, we were really the only broadcast of anything going on. And I think, you know, just, again, not to toot my own horn, but there was really nothing else being broadcasted except maybe through a Game Changer app. But what would you rather do? Would you rather listen to a Game Changer that only has the field noise, and only has you know, like a wide-angle shot of the field through a GoPro, or would you rather have, you know, through all of our behind-the-scenes crew, a very well-done made broadcast with play-by-play in color? I'd rather do the second. That one's high and away, 2-1. Somebody once told me, if you never toot your own horn, you'll never hear the music.
It's a good one.
2-1 to Ford, up and in at the letters. So Gmitter flew out to center field, followed up by a base hit by Avignano down the left field line. Ford 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And he's got a 3-1 count here in the top of the 6th inning, down by 5 runs in a 7-2 ball game. Outside. Missed the mark there. Carpenter talking to himself, not too thrilled there. That is his 4th walk allowed. And you gotta imagine, just like Stockton had a short leash on Sansone, you gotta imagine Kulik's gonna have, as he was a pitcher himself, a short leash on Ethan Carpenter here, especially with 2 runners on. 1 swing can make it a 2-run game. You don't want to get there. You want to make sure that you guys are, you know, stretched out for everything that you need to have going forward.
And I was just going to mention that I'd have to believe that with his pitch count getting up, Carpenter, this would probably be it for him in the top half of the 6th.
Yeah, even if he doesn't roll a double play here, it's either his last batter or last couple of batters, if I had to say so myself. I mean, we don't have a pitch counter here, but you'd imagine he's pretty far up there, especially not just the fact that he's got a handful of walks. He's also had a lot of at-bats that have been worked to the bone. Full counts, 2-2 counts. Nonetheless, it's not like everybody's getting out on the first pitch. 2-0.
And maybe fatiguing here in the top half of the 6th. I mean, again, you just said we're not sure what his pitch count is exactly, but you'd have to imagine it's up there in that 80-90 range at this point.
Yeah, and it's not like high school where, you know, you really take out a guy after 70 or 80 pitches. These guys are trained and conditioned to go to the distance for as long as their team needs them, because you're playing 9 innings versus 7. There's a lot of different nuances that go into that. It's 2-1 to the catcher Fior. Double play in the 2nd, sac fly to right in the 4th. Stockton's 2 runs today have come in the 4th inning on back-to-back sacrifice flies by Fior and Beard. Beard is on deck for the Ospreys as the 2-1 is outside, 3-1. This is a tough spot here. I mean, because Carpenter doesn't want to allow another walk, but he's one of those guys that gets very passionate, gets very emotional. And sometimes if things just start to unravel, they unravel very quickly. This is a situation, you know, with the right-hander in the bullpen. He'll get a walk here. Again, Carpenter still not happy about where that ball was. Bases are loaded now.
Number 23, Austin Beard.
Here's Austin Beard. A double and another sacrifice fly. Kulik's coming out. We'll see if that will be the end of the day for him.
A little bit of back and forth here with the umpire and Rutgers-Camden dugout.
I was just about to say one of the assistants, I think, got in a little bit of trouble for going back and forth there. Everybody knows it's the one thing in baseball you can't argue, balls and strikes. You can argue fair or foul, you can argue safe or out, just can't argue balls and strikes. Not after next year, though, in Major League Baseball.
And that does go back to your point of high school baseball. That's something that will very quickly get you removed from a game.
We've seen our handful of those. Mound visit charged to Rutgers-Camden. They do not take Carpenter out of the game. I'm a little bit surprised here. Unless the right-hander who is warming up right now, can't see his jersey number, but if the right-hander who's warming up is just not ready, maybe they have to leave him in. But they had a lefty warming up for a little while. Looks like out there in the pen, it's possibly Joey Rappaport. Not sure. I think it's either 25 or 26. Well, then 26 would be a lefty. It is 25. So that's Joey Rappaport, right-hander, senior out of Highland. 1-0 is the count. Bases loaded, one away. Sun pokes through the left side. As Carpenter kicks and delivers well outside there. And like we said, 2-0 here. He's just got to settle down a little bit. He needs to slow things down. The mound visit was supposed to do that, but just kind of walking around the mound here, again, he can get very fired up, for better or for worse. And this is a situation where you do not want to be fired up for worse. Let's just say that. He's already down in the count, 2-0. That is fouled back, 2-1 here.
That's a big pitch for Carpenter right there.
Got it right down the middle and then fouled it back. And that's a bit of a gesture there from Beard. He's showing, yeah, I can hit your stuff. I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna find a way to put the ball in play. And well, now Carpenter's got to work around that. 2 balls, 1 strike to the designated hitter Beard. The shortstop Bresnan is on deck in the 9 spot. But a huge spot for the Ospreys in the bottom of the order. Ground ball put in play. How about this? 6, 4, 3! Diving into first base. Ethan Carpenter rolls 777s with a double play. The third turned by the Raptors defense in the infield. And after a huge threat loomed, Carpenter settled down and got the job done. We go to the bottom half of the 6th. 7-2 Rutgers. First pitch of the bottom half of the 6th is outside for a ball to Evan Carbone. 8, 9, and 1, Carbone, Smith, and Romand for the Scarlet Raptors as Tim Welsh, fires that one for a strike. Think it's fair to assume Ethan Carpenter's day is done?
I believe so.
I would be surprised by a long shot if he stayed in. Just because, I mean, he was fired up after he got out of the double play, but I think for the 7th, 8th, and 9th, I wouldn't risk it. 6 innings is a plenty good performance.
Well, and he had that plenty good performance, but if you look down the right field line now, it's a left-hander warming up. Joe Rappaport has made his way towards the first base dugout.
Well, there's a ground ball out to second. Well, Rappaport's just kind of been walking up and down the first base line. He was warming up earlier, but what you have to consider is that for both sides, there's only one full bullpen mound. There's only one per side, so it's not like the major leagues where you get 2 per side and you can warm up multiple guys at the same time. If you want to warm up a second guy, sometimes what teams will do is they will go out past the third base side and literally warm up somebody on the soccer turf out there. I've seen the high school teams do that because there's only one full-size mound. They'll either go on the concrete or they'll go on the soccer turf and warm up a second player there. So what they're doing is Rappaport, when he's not warming up, he's walking around, staying loose, staying active, and then for the other guy who's warming up, who is number 27, Dylan Oliver, well, they're kind of getting both of their reps in. 0-2, that's down. But yeah, when we were here for a couple of high school games last year, Haddon Township and Eastern, and then I think it was Sterling and Gloucester in the Camden County tournament last year. I remember Sterling warmed up a couple of guys on the turf just because they didn't have multiple mounds to throw off of. Count is 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to the shortstop and freshman, Chris Smith. Fouled over towards Delaware Street. And it's the roof of the restrooms. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Colin Morris here at the Camden Athletic Complex. NJAC baseball between Stockton and Rutgers-Camden. Swing and a miss. He got him. And no, that was not music from the public address speaker. That is music from the illegal dirt bikes that are often a problem. 2 outs. Here's Frankie Romand. He's reached base every time today. 2 doubles and a hit by pitch. He's come around to score in 2 of the 3 at-bats. Was left on third in the bottom half of the 4th as a part of a 7-run campaign. That's a bullet out to second base and caught to retire the side. Stockton has a not a tireless, but a careless bottom of the 6th inning. We'll see what Rutgers goes with 2 arms in the pen, Rappaport and Oliver. We'll see if they go with either or if Carpenter's going to go back out there for the 7th. We'll be right back, 7-2, Rutgers-Camden. Brenson leads us off in the top half of the 7th. You're not going to believe this. Ethan Carpenter is still pitching in the 7th inning. I thought for sure that they were going to take him out, but Ryan Kulik, the pitcher that he is, has the confidence in his man. Velocity is still high. Grounder to short on the first pitch. He got him. Out number one.
And that's why right there. I mean, if you're just going to roll outs like that, one pitch, I mean, he's done that a couple times today. I mean, those are the things teams thrive off of, is those one pitch outs. Those and the 3 double plays he's had today.
Oh, yeah, and that double play, I mean, that made his face almost cherry red with glee. His face was almost the same shade of red as the Rutgers-Camden jersey, just because that was an incredible double play. Got everybody fired up here in Camden. There's a strike called to Antonucci. He's 0 for 3. But, I mean, that was just so powerful. Bases loaded, 1 out. You think Carpenter's in trouble. He's going to have, he's going to spiral. But no, he got back down, was down in the count 2-0, fired a foul ball, fastball right down the middle, and then the next pitch, rolled a double play, 4-6 to right. It's just not that many guys that can do that are just so intimidating. He's really been hammering the zone with his slider today. Backdoor sliders to the right-handers. He's worked that zone really well on the outside part of the plate. Count is 1-2. Dribbled up the first base line, foul. Over towards the bullpen. So Oliver and Rappaport still warming up, but I would imagine, as we said, even with Carpenter's successes, that he would still be on a very tight leash. Just because of the fact that he's been out here for so long. He's at 6 1/3 now. I mean, anything over 6 innings, if you're going to win the game, he's doing it in style. You know, the era of the complete game by the starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, at least, is very much dwindling. And even in college and high school, you don't see a lot of coaches who like to send their pitchers out for complete games. But even though Carpenter won't be doing that today, that one's fouled back. Even though he won't be doing that, I mean, that's still very impressive what he's been able to do on the hill. And also Gloucester alum. Shout out Greg Galbraith. Two balls, 2 strikes. And 1 out. Shakes his head no, that one's outside. 3-2.
Just missed for Carpenter there. Could imagine he wanted that, as well as the Rutgers-Camden bench wanted that.
Yeah, you could hear a couple groans down there. Three balls, 2 strikes. Dribbler foul again.
This is a great at-bat for Antonucci here.
Oh, this is great. Because if Carpenter was on a... Again, there's another one. If the short leash couldn't get any shorter, this long at-bat, bringing up his pitch count, will make it even shorter. 3-2, lined. Oh, my goodness! Frankie Romand, how do you do? Oh, Frankie Romand with an incredible diving catch over the middle. 2 outs.
I mean, that's more of that Rutgers-Camden defense on display. I mean, Romand.
That's a Harlem Globetrotters play.
I mean, that's obviously the best we've seen today, 100%. But
wow,
that on top of those double plays, this defense
is winning this ball game.
Absolutely stellar today, and that bench doesn't love it more than anyone in the complex right now.
Absolutely. Popped up foul over towards the track, and it's 0-2. Ethan Carpenter looking for 7 strong innings. He struck out a handful, and the only 2 runs he's allowed were on sacrifice flies in the 4th inning.
I'd say 7 innings and counting.
Yeah, because we don't know. It's 1-2. We do not know how long he's going to stay in the ballgame. There's been 2 pitchers warming up in that Rutgers pen for as long as we can remember. One, 2. Lined, short, Smith grabs it, throw across, is in time, inning over. How about it? Ethan Carpenter, 7 innings here as the starter continues to slice and dice his way through the Ospreys order. We go to the bottom half of the 7th, stretch time in Rutgers-Camden, 7-2. Ryan Nutley, who got the fireworks started with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first, takes ball 1 to start the bottom half of the 7th, with Tim Welsh still on the hill for a 3rd inning in relief. Although, kudos to him, he has slowed down Rutgers-Camden absolutely on the offensive side. They got 7 runs across in the first 4, and now he's thrown 2 scoreless, looking for a 3rd. So, obviously with the left-hander out there, he didn't do a bad job, but Rutgers-Camden seemed to have a better jive hitting him, and now Welsh comes in with 2 scoreless right now. 3-0 count, though, to Nutley, who has reached base all 3 times. Single, homer, and a walk. Gets the green light that time and takes it 3-1. Nutley, Joseph, and Murphy, 2, 3, and 4 for the Raptors. 3-1 from Welsh, outside. Picks up his 2nd walk of the day, and a leadoff free pass to set up Ryan Joseph.
It's a great way to start on the stretch there for Camden Rutgers. Or Rutgers-Camden, rather.
Could go either way.
Yeah.
Of course, we're here at the Camden Athletic Complex, former home of the Camden River Sharks. Of course, Rutgers-Camden, when Camden River Sharks had a stadium here from 2000 to 2015. That's the weird thing about Campbell's Field. It was only around for 15 years. Closed in 2015, was knocked down a couple of years later, and then this reopened in 2021 after a handful of years of staying dormant. They were going to make it a parking lot for the Riverview. Oh, look out! That one's up above our heads. And they were going to make it some kind of like multi-use parking lot, but I feel that this is a better use of the field than a parking lot.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. We've done countless high school games here, countless college games here. This is always one of my favorite places to go as a 1-1. Is parking a bit of a nightmare still? Yes, but we live with it. They finally made that one lot back there specifically for event parking, which I think was a really good move by the Rutgers-Camden staff, was to put that parking lot close to the field. But, I mean, I'm in Camden a decent amount. You know, there's the Adventure Aquarium, and there's the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion out there, and a lot of things to do around here, just outside of Philly. Fly ball to center is caught by Antonucci. He's out number 1. Joseph is retired for Jack Murphy.
And speaking of countless, I mean, I as a younger than I am now, my dad would take me to Camden River Shark games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
we had a partial season ticket playing back in the day.
So I mean, those are a lot of great memories. So the fact that it's kind of been revived as, you know, this field, this beautiful field.
Yeah, Rutgers-Camden played here, or played at Campbell's Field. One of the interesting things about Campbell's Field was that this ballpark has been rotated 90 degrees to the left, basically, from what Campbell's Field was. Because if you remember, where we're standing right now, we're basically I'll do a little demonstration after this pitch, as there's a fly ball in the left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 2 runners on here, but where our camera's pointing right now, that's basically where home plate was of the River Shark Stadium. And then the bridge, the scenic bridge, was all the way out there. So you'd have to turn your head pretty far to see the bridge. It wasn't as prominent of the landscape. It wasn't as big of a part of a landscape as it is now. I actually really like what they've done with the stadium because it made the Ben Franklin Bridge more important. I mean, it made the bridge pillar the batter's eye, basically. The bridge is the batter's eye.
Which is a very cool touch.
Yeah, like
but
they didn't have that.
For those that don't know, the Camden River Sharks have actually been adopted as the Dan Wilkins fantasy baseball team.
Yes, yes, that is my fantasy baseball team name. It has been for the past 3 years. It's the 1-0. Fouled back. So Murphy with a base hit, a walk, a fly out, and a single here in the bottom of the 7th for Steve Schaefer, 0 for 3. Schaefer working with traffic against Welsh. Inside. 2-1. Just a beautiful day here in Camden. 71 degrees at first pitch. It's dipped down a little bit, but certainly just a wonderful day. You know, we go to Rutgers all these times, and it's 40 degrees and windy, and this just feels like the perfect day to be here. Here's the 2-1. up at the letters, 3-1.
And I go back to opening day, like we were talking about earlier. We were literally,
That was the game you sat in on, yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of the first time I'd been around DWB, but I just remember being like, I couldn't get warm for hours after that game.
I had my heater on in bed. There's a line drive foul. I mean, there are some of those days where you are so cold where you could have the heat up high and your body is still shivering even after that. You can turn up the heat in the car, it doesn't matter. You are still cold. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Schaefer.
And now, under 2 months later, you know, I'm sitting here in shorts.
Welcome to Jersey. 2 on, 1 out. Count is full. Welsh looks back at second. Kicks and delivers. That one's hit out towards left center field. That's going to dive, and it'll be a base hit. It hits off the left fielder's glove. This one will get a run home with Nutley, their first run in 3 innings. And it's an RBI double, a bit of an unorthodox one, but Steve Schaefer gets the job done nonetheless. It's 8-2. This will be a big, very convincing season series split with Stockton, considering that they lost by 9 runs in game 1. Come back, you're now up by 6. It's a good kind of philosophy to have. Murphy now down at third. Inside to Petrick. Right-hander in the bullpen for Stockton just threw an absolutely disgusting curveball. That would have gotten me to swing. It is Kyle Sipola. High tapper down the first base line, it's foul.
As like most people, I feel like would claim this game has gotten a little bit boring with all their scoring, but in my opinion,
not really.
With Ethan Carpenter on the mound, this game has been the farthest thing from boring.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, where a lot of people would say it's boring, just because it's a 6-run game. I mean, listen, if you're a Rutgers fan, any time where you're winning is not boring. But I think that, hold on here, base hit in the right field for Petrick. He's going to get one home. Green light, no, Schaefer gets the stop sign. They're going to throw it back to third, and he is safe. Third baseman kind of got knocked down there after the play. He'll walk it off, and here is Corral. So Schaefer gets to third, got a very late stop sign as an RBI single by Brandon Petrick, makes it 9-2.
And going back to what you were saying, anytime you can come to Rutgers-Camden Complex on a Friday afternoon.
Get a good ball game.
On a Easter weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they can get a convincing win after yesterday's pretty much the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to make the point of, is that Stockton is a good team, and they've played very tough competition. And there's a bunt. This is going to get Schaefer home. No, and it's foul. So he'll trot his way down back to third. No balls, 1 strike. Seven-run game. Rutgers-Camden 9, Stockton 2. After a bit of a lull in scoring, they got 2 runs home here in the 7th. Popped up on a bunt. It's foul. It's 0-2. Carbone, the 8-hitter, on deck. From Welsh. Dribbled foul, kept the at-bat alive. Oh, good snag by Ryan Kulik down at first base. Coaches are athletes too. No balls, 2 strikes. To Corral, 0 for 2. A walk, a strikeout, and a flyout. Looking to get Schaefer home and make it a 10-piece. They throw back to first. Runner gets in standing. 0-2, runner goes. It's in the dirt. Petrick will get in there. And now 2 runners in scoring position. One ball, 2 strikes. Runners on second and third. And the pitch. Popped up. This could get a run home if the wind carries it. It's actually out to straightaway right field. Backpedaling. Catch is made. That'll make it an even 10 for Rutgers-Camden. Steve Schaefer comes in and scores, and you can make that 10-2 Rutgers-Camden. As a 3-spot here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
And that's really just a great job of hitting by Gorell there, just bearing down with 2 strikes, getting the ball high in the outfield, deep in the outfield actually. The wind really carried that one, but ended up getting the job done.
Absolutely. First pitch fouled by Carbone. It's 0-1. One is the count. That one's hit out to left field by Carbone. Slicing in, it will drop, and the turf gets it way over his head. It gets over Tucker Elder's head. Carbone with Kyle Schwarber wheels will get to third. He's got a triple. Evan Carbone in the most unlikely way as Elder misjudged almost a bouncy ball kind of hop in left field. It's an RBI triple with 2 outs. And the 4th run has come across for the Raptors. It is 11-2.
And that's just the inexperience of Stockton not playing on a turf field, or this turf field specifically.
I mean, this ball bounces high here.
Yeah, just not a great.
And turf fields in general have that. It's down to Smith.
And just not a great read there, but
I don't know if it was more of the bounce or if it was more of the read, because he came in and he was going to field it like he would on grass, and then it just bounced straight up. It's like there was a trampoline under left field, but 2-0. But a 4-spot for Rutgers-Camden, first time they've played at 4 today, and they now lead by 9 runs, 11-2. And the 2-0, Smith fouls it straight back. Rutgers-Camden, if they hang on for the next 2 innings and win, they would improve to 22-11. Stockton would fall just below 500 at 15-16. It's
a long foul ball. I might have got to the soccer field.
Yeah, could have. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Carbone on third, and the pitch. In the dirt, look out. Rutgers-Camden's dugout standing. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the 3-2. Smith, fly ball on the left. Elder comes in, and he makes the catch. Side retired as Carbone fails to come around and score. 4-spot, though, for Rutgers-Camden. It is 11-2 going to the 8th here in Camden. Camden, the junior left-hander out of Ocean City. Haven't seen him too much, to be honest with you. He had a 4.5 ERA in 10 appearances this year, 14 innings, 18 hits, 11 strikeouts. Had 3 appearances with a high ERA and a small sample size last year, had 8 appearances with a 4.26 record in 2023. So this is his 3rd season with the Raptors. I'm sure it's a little bit chillier here than it was down in Ocean City when he played high school there, but here's the 0-1. That's a strike.
Very good pitch there.
0-2. Nitty, Gmitter, and Avignano. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Ospreys. Here's the 0-2 outside. Rutgers-Camden leads 11-2. Hit out to right field. This one's got some distance to it. Back at the wall. It's off the wall. He's going to get it down. He's got his wheels to get to third. He will get in there standing. And Nitty contributes with an RBI triple. Not an RBI, but a leadoff triple to right field. As that'll put a runner on.
And that's Nitty being gritty with 2 strikes there. Just popping one up to right field, and I mean, if that was on purpose or not, the ballpark, carrying to right field, the wind kind of picked up there, so that ended up almost taking it out as it hit about that mid spot up on that tall right field wall.
Absolutely. That one is a strike call. To the left-handed hitter, Gmitter. For Nitty, that was his first hit of the day. He was 0 for 3 up to that point with a double play. Gmitter 0 for 2. Ground ball up to first base line. That will get a run home. Infield playing back. The RBI ground, that makes it 11-3.
Number 56, Nick Avignano.
So Gmitter scores on the RBI ground out. 3 unassisted for out number 1. And Avignano slams the ball to center field. Schaefer, though, is there. Got a good barrel off the bat, but Avignano unable to come up with it or unable to come down with it. Lines it out to center for out number 2. So Oliver on in the 8th. Good thing to note about today's game is that there is no run rule. In NCAA Division I, there is a run rule for non-conference games, but for conference games, there is no run rule of that kind. By the way, DJ Giuliano is warming up in the right field bullpen. I think it works that way for all levels, is that there is no run rule for conference games, but there is a run rule for non-conference games. Because, to be fair, how much you win by could matter in terms of seeding in a conference, especially in a conference that doesn't do straight-up mathematical seeding and does, a little bit of a human-based seeding, which I think is normal. I think that in a competitive conference like the NJAC, it's rare that you see leads of 8, 9, or 10 or more. 3-1 from Oliver, misses away. But Stockton had the bases cleared, now occupies again with Robbie Ford as catcher Fiore will bat for the 4th time. Stockton 3, Rutgers 11. Ground ball, third base side, right at the chest of Nutley. Throws it to second, and it's in time to retire the side. Rutgers holds Stockton to just a run on an RBI ground out. However, they're still up by 8, 11-3 going to the bottom of the 8th. here at Rutgers-Camden. Frankie Romand at the top of the order had a highlight play in the bottom half, rather in the top half of one of the prior innings. As Rutgers, with an 8-run lead, looks to get their last swings on. I think if they swing in the bottom of the ninth, something will have gone terribly wrong as that one's outside. Romand, Nutley, and Joseph. 1, 2, and 3. Rutgers sent 8 men to the plate in the 7th. Romand was the only one to not bat. He is 2 for 3. Hit by pitch, 2 doubles, and a line out. This one popped right over our heads. Ooh, almost went into the trash can over there. That would have counted for something. Little trick shot.
Also almost hit Rutgers-Camden commit from Cinnaminson, Anthony Alessandroni.
Right. We talked about Alessandroni in the open. He'll be a big addition for the Raptors this year, or next year. Ground ball over to middle. Nice snag at short by the new shortstop, Chris Galasso. And there's out number 1.
To my left as well is Lenape catcher Logan Garrett.
I would guess that he's committed here as well.
I don't believe he's committed yet, but
Just
maybe.
hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
It also helps that Lenape and Cinnaminson will be playing here in early May. Might be getting a good scout of the field.
You said Lenape and who?
Lenape and Cinnaminson should be playing here. So a Lenape
It's ironic.
player, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ironic at all. It could be. I mean, seriously, could be these guys scouting out the field. You know, Lenape might go back home and say, "Hey, the ball bounces really high in the outfield." I'm being serious. I'm saying that. Listen, when these guys are not used to playing on turf that much, if at all, so it's important to get it right when you do.
Of course.
That's a ground ball out to short, and that's out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down, and Ryan Joseph is the batter. No, not Joseph. Here's Matt McAleer.
I don't know, that
McAleer out of Delsey. Or no, excuse me, not out of Delsey. That was Jacob Watson we were talking about.
that snag by Frank and Ramon may just be worth a Sports Center tag or 2.
You know, I was thinking just about that. But McAleer out of Hamilton High School in Atco. Probably the most northern school in the Cape Atlantic League. The youngster on the team. So I don't know if he'll take over in left for Joseph, but Joseph gets replaced by McAleer. Dribbled out towards third.
It's going to be a tough play.
That is a tough play, and he got him. Oof. Tough call there, but he does get the out, and the inning is over. We go to the 9th, looking to shut it down in Camden. Rutgers 11, Stockton 3. DJ Giuliano is the pitcher for the Raptors. 7 appearances. He's got 1 save, but today is not one of those days. He's up by 8 runs, 11-3. Oh, hello. That's a swing and a miss there.
I'm sure the Rutgers-Camden
Yeah,
will eat that one up.
That's fuel to the fire there for Rutgers-Camden. In the 9th, it's Beard, Bresnan, and Anticelli. Ground ball to third off the bat of Beard. Nutley is there. Throw across is in time for Jack Murphy, and it's out number 1. So Giuliano in his 8th appearance of the year, 12 innings. He replaces the left-hander Oliver, who went 1. Ethan Carpenter, man, I don't know if I want to go with Carpenter or Nutley for player of the game. Carpenter, I feel like he's got to be the player of the game here, even with the offense.
He was electric as it got today, seriously.
Yeah, I think we'll have to talk to Carpenter at the end of the game in our Dan Wilkins Broadcasting post-game show presented by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, as we like to call it, the dog of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Giuliano delivers. Strike called. To the new shortstop in the ball game.
It's getting rowdy over there, Dan.
It is.
To our right.
They're loving it. Galasso fouls it back. Galasso, a true freshman out of Matawan. 171 average in 17 games. One, 2, fires a fastball low. He has 7 hits and 41 at-bats, 2 extra base hits, 3 RBIs, and 5 walks. 261 on-base percentage. We will go back to the top of the order, though, in due time with Michael Antonucci. 2-2 is a swing and a miss. He got him. The Rutgers staff has been dominant on the hill, and that's out number 2. So we're down to the last out in this one. 11-3, Rutgers-Camden. Rutgers got the scoring started early on a 2-run blast to center field by Ryan Nutley. That was followed up by 2 more runs in the bottom of the 3rd, and then 3 more in the bottom of the 4th. Before that, though, Stockton did get themselves on the board with back-to-back sacrifice flies. After a bit of a scoring lull, 4 more runs came across in a numerous amount of ways in the bottom half of the 7th, and then Stockton with an RBI ground out in the top of the 8th to seal what has been basically all the scoring for today. Ball 1 strike to Antonucci.
Before we wrap up here, I just want to
4 for 4.
thank you, Dan, for having me on
course.
today. It's been a lot of fun, and it's always a good day when Rutgers-Camden come out here and get a win, especially after yesterday.
Especially at their home court. Here's the 1-1 outside. 2-1. Here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you're a small business owner interested in advertising with us, you can send me an email at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We also take donations on our Venmo at DW Broadcasting. No spaces and no hyphens. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. The trio of Carpenter, Oliver, and Giuliano will look like they're going to hold Stockton to 3 runs with the 2-2 lined out to right, and that's caught. Ball game is over. Rutgers-Camden, after a 9-run loss yesterday in Galloway, go all the way and score 11 in their Friday afternoon win over the Ospreys, 11-3. They snapped the Ospreys' 3-game winning streak and get themselves in business with an 11-3 win. Ryan Nutley with a 2-run shot. Ethan Carpenter, though, led the way, 7 innings and a grand total of 1. He had 1 strikeout. He had 1 strikeout. But guess what? The defense behind him did an excellent job, turned 3 double plays, and, well, guess what? They've got themselves in business here as they take this one 11-3. Your player of the game presented by Dog Pro Wrestling is Ethan Carpenter with 7 innings on the hill. We'll be right back with the postgame show in just a moment. Here at Rutgers-Camden, in the debriefing of their 11-3 win over Stockton, your dangerous adrenaline wrestling gladiator dog of the game is Ethan Carpenter, the right-hander, grad student, 7 innings today. Didn't know if you'd get that far, but you did, and helped win for the Raptors as they split the season series with Stockton. How'd you feel out there today?
Pretty good, man. I knew that we had to go out there and get one today, right? That's been pretty much our motto all year, is just battling. I think we saw that today in this game, right? It's kind of been our motto all year, is facing adversity and overcoming those challenges. And of course, we saw that out there today with me on the mound. And I just got to trust the guys behind me, and I did that today. And it's good results when we all work together like that.
Yeah, I mean, after Stockton put 14 up on Thursday at their home field, now you get a taste of the medicine and put up 11 tonight. You know, considering that Rutgers and Stockton, you know, they've always had a really good matchup between the two. And today you guys got it started early with Ryan Nutley, the 2-run shot. And you guys had a lot of run support out there. How did it feel for you as a pitcher knowing that your team was backing you up and getting you the offense that you needed on the hill?
Oh, it means the world. It gives me all the confidence out there to do what I do, you know. And when things go like that and we're clicking on all cylinders, we're a dangerous team, and we know that, and we've proven it throughout the year. Obviously, we've faced some struggles, but we got some guys banged up. But like I said earlier, it's about overcoming the adversity, and that's been our motto, and picking each other up and doing it for each other with the whole full 42 we got.
It's
I feel
not.
like we did
It's,
that today.
absolutely, it's not easy, especially with Jacob Watson out with a ankle injury. Diego Salazar tore his bicep last night. It's not easy to have those teammates that you've stuck by all that time, and now they're getting hurt. But your defense still picked up the pace. 3 double plays behind you, including that incredible 6th inning double play. I mean, when that happened, your face may have been as red as the jersey you were wearing. I noted there was some frustration there in the 6th inning. You know, when that mound visit was going on, you know, what was going on in your mind to just kind of settle down and get ready for it? Because obviously it's very difficult for a pitcher who is as passionate as you are to overcome an adverse situation like that. So when you were having some struggles in the 6th and Stockton at the bases loaded, how did you calm yourself down and find a way to force the double play ball that got you out of the inning?
Well, all this just comes back down to, you know, trusting the preparation you put in each day. Especially, I'm a guy that's been doing it for a while at this point, and I know that we have some young guys out there. And actually, believe it or not, in that time, I turned around to my middle infield and said, "I'm going to get you guys a double play right here." And that just comes down to the trust that they're going to make the play, and I have all the absolute trust, and also trust in myself to get through that situation. Right? When I'm out there, I don't think about any of that. I'm super cool, super calm. Despite what it might look at sometimes, like I don't feel the pressure in those situations. Those are the things that you look back on and you want, because you know that you can get the job done.
Yeah, and it's great to hear. I mean, you know, when the 6th inning was over, when that double play was done, did you have to do any convincing to stay in the game, or did Kulik just say, have at it, and let you go?
No, I didn't have to convince anything. Like I said, I mean, I talk about all the trust that I have in my guys, but it starts at the top with him. Nobody has more trust in the guys that are here more than Coach Kulik, and that's the thing that he's instilled in us, and the thing that we talk about a lot.
And that's important. He was a minor league pitcher as well. He knows what it means to be a pitcher. He knows what it means to be a valuable one. You know, you guys have a couple of tough games going up before your last doubleheader versus William Patterson next week. You have senior night on Tuesday with Centenary. Going into the home stretch, it's not easy to go as a team with all the injuries that you have, but you guys are doing it anyway, and now have your 22nd win of the season. Yep. How do you feel about your team going forward, for our last question of the day? How do you feel about your team going forward into the last week of the regular season?
Oh, I think we're going to do great things this week. I have no doubt in my mind. I think everybody's on the same page, and the results are going to show throughout this week. So make sure to check that out and see a lot of W's in the column.
We will be here on Tuesday for the senior night matchup between Centenary and Rutgers-Camden. Ethan, we're going to do our DWB tradition. We're going to have you sign the bottom of the scorecard, make it nice and big, because we've got...
Anywhere specific?
Bottom of the scorecard, just like any of that
Here?
area, yeah. The grad student, Ethan Carpenter, with a nice little squiggle there to end his day as appreciate it. Best of luck and happy Easter. That'll be all for us tonight here on DWB. Ethan Carpenter, your player of the game with 7 innings, just 1 strikeout, but 3 double plays, 0. I thought we had 1 up there. Okay, never mind. Hey, even better when we're corrected by the player of the game. From our entire crew here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan. My producer and color commentator for the day, making his DWB debut, Colin Morris. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you on Monday for post-Easter spring break baseball between Camden Catholic and Cherokee. Rutgers-Camden wins it over Stockton 11-3. Have a good one, folks.